Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Wednesdays Live on Facebook ads. So today we're going to be looking at the best way to run a Facebook ad on a low budget. Now, this is something that is really, really important actually, because Facebook Meta has made lots of changes to the way they run their ads. We used to run something that was called dynamic creative, which was unbelievable. Now we're going to go through that same technique, apart from the fact that things are just a little bit different now than they were. So, but it is the best way to run an ad on a low budget. So, who am I? And if you've not come across any of my content before, any of my lives, my name is Nick Bollington. I'm the ads doctor. I'm wearing a little stethoscope today. Not got the white jacket on actually, so apologies for that. But yeah, I've been in the marketing space since I was 25. So 20 years here, but 6 years in the social media space. So I have an agency called Let's Run Social, and I have an ads clinic, which is an area where you can go and get help with your ads. But from an agency point of view, these are some of the trusted brands that work with us. We've got Enterprise, Verizon, so we've got some big names there. So we've got some really good brands. But the real reason that I'm here to teach you guys is through something called the ads clinic. So I've got a Facebook group which has got 100,000 listeners to it. For Facebook podcast called Let's Run Facebook Ads Podcast. Every week a new podcast goes out, and that's been going for 3 years. So it's taken a long time to get up to that listener base. And then what that leads on to is the ads clinic, which is a free community on a place called School. If you've not come across School before, School is a place where communities are hosted with not all for free. Mine is for free, but courses are held there, etc. So it's a really good place for people to learn about stuff. So because I've got the agency and I have so many people who want to start Facebook ads or are having trouble with Facebook ads, small to medium-sized businesses, but they can't afford to go to an agency, Let's Run Social, I created the School. So if you go to school.com/the ads clinic, you can put your details there, join that all for free, and then you can get as much content as you want to help you with your ads on the way. And then second to that, I have the consultancy side of the business, which is also called the Ads Clinic, where you can do one-to-one with myself and my team. So that's who I am. So why Facebook? So I want to go a couple of slides just over why I concentrate mostly on Facebook and why I've become an expert on Facebook. And it's really down to the fact that it's such an amazing platform for users. We have WhatsApp, we have Facebook, and we have Instagram. And I know the world of TikTok is there. I use TikTok a lot. I advertise on TikTok. It's a different ball game altogether, even though the way you set up ads and stuff is pretty similar, but it's a different game. So I've been using and showing people how to run ads and running ads for people for the last 6 years, maybe actually in the business. And it just gets results. It's just as simple as that. Yes, not everyone can get results, but essentially, if you've got a good product or you've got a good service, and people are already buying that, so it's a product that works or a service that works, Facebook is going to get you more customers. You've just got to get very good at how you do that, and that's what I'm here to help you. So we've got a platform of 68 million. Approximately 44 million people are active on Facebook, 66% of the total UK population. It has audience diversity. So Facebook's user base spans all age groups, genders and interests. If you've got a product for 50-year-olds or hearing aids or stair lifts, Facebook is perfect for you. For the younger generation, Instagram's perfect, but the way you build ads, Facebook will decide where to show it. And you can look at different bits of data to find out what demographics are working. You've got user touch points regularly used by millions, creates repeated exposure opportunities. 70% of Facebook users visit daily. When I say Facebook in this, I might actually change this to say Meta. So it's when people go onto Meta, so any of the Meta platforms. And the targeting capabilities. So when we're building audiences, now a lot of people I speak to, small and medium-sized businesses and large businesses, we all have this theory over these audiences within Meta. And up until 2 years ago, it was seen as like a database. So you would go in and you build a database, just like you would if you're building an email list. Now that's slightly changed now. There's lots of different audiences that are disappearing down to for particular reasons. But the way we need to approach this is now, imagine you don't have an audience. So they're all out there, but the creative is what builds your audience. And what I mean by that is, depending on, you need to call out to your audience. So if you're selling, stair lifts, you would be like, hey, have you reached the age in your life where you're finding getting up the stairs is really, really hard? Then you need this. So it's calling out to someone. And it's always been the way. Copywriting has always been the way. But because Facebook was so easy to get leads and business from, 4 or 5 years ago, we forgot about those things. Now those things are becoming even more key now, because it is so hard to get through the noise and show your brand to the people you want to speak to. So they're on there. We've got custom audience and lookalikes. So still lookalikes work really, really well. Custom audiences are absolutely fantastic for retargeting people. If they started coming in from video views or things like that, you can retarget people who've watched a certain percentage of your video views, and people who've been to your website. So you're creating that sort of funnel of warm and cold to warm prospects. And then geo-targeting, we can go around certain, one call I've just been on, he advertises 40-mile radius of his clinic in Portland in America, and is striving. So 16 weeks he's been doing it and is making really, really, really good waves. So I'll go through that. So a couple of just things before we dive in. I'm actually going to build this for you. We're actually going to go into Ads Manager. I'm going to show you how to build this. So it's a really good lesson we're going to have here. So here's a company that one of my clients from November. So this is a wedding photography and videographer, and they wanted to get more leads of people who are booking their wedding, and they obviously need a photographer there. So their photography and their videos are amazing, beautiful, but we had to, we did some testing to make sure that the first 3 seconds was capturing someone's attention, etc. But just some idea of what they got out of this. So they spent $788. It was pounds, but leads, they got 26. Discovery calls, they got 16. So of those leads, they called the leads and they had 16 calls from them. Cost per lead was $30. The lead to a booking rate, as in that's the lead to booking the call, was 61%, which is really good. An average is 50. But go down to the bottom, they got 6 out of those 16 people, 6 of those converted to a sale. So they did 18,000 in revenue from that. So unbelievable. And another one I just mentioned there, which is a preventional health clinic in America. And you can see here, we're actually on the 16th week now, but I haven't updated this slide. I need to do that, but it'd be hard to fit it in. I should just do 2 rows. Week 1, cost per lead, $30, 66 leads, 18 calls, closed 5, 3 grand. So, not great profit there. But look all the way up to week 9. So look, various things we did in here. We tested different landing pages. We did more content. We tested out content hooks. It's not about just getting one piece of creative and going, yeah, that'll do, and then wondering why it doesn't work. And then people turn around to me and say, Facebook just doesn't work for me as a business. And I'm like, well, what did you do? And they've spent 100 quid on one ad and thought they were going to change the whole business. It doesn't work like that. You can look at the 16 weeks this client is doing. We go on a call every Wednesday for an hour, and we discuss what we're going to do, what strategy we're going to do for the next week. But, he's making some serious money, 3,000 up to the 9th week, 17. And we're sort of around that area now with little drops, but he's making some really, really good money, and give you an idea, that lad's 20 years old. So it's amazing. Right. So let's go into building an ad. So let me go into the Ads Manager now, and let's build an ad. So what generally happens is with ads is that let's say you've just taken my rule of thumb and said you don't just create one creative, you need to test them 4, because that one creative, and I've seen it so many times, that one creative, when tested, was the original one, test it out against 3 others. After a week or 2, we realized that the one that we originally had the idea of was the one that failed. And then you sort of just literally reinstall what I'm saying now is, if you'd just gone with that one ad and it didn't work, and then you just thought, oh, this doesn't work. So the amount of testing that goes in, and once you get going and finally you're getting the results, you start bringing more and more creative to the table. But the problem is you don't want to spend that creative unless it's making you money. So you're fine. Like that client I've just shown you now, he's like today, I said, okay, we've got 4 more bits of creative to test. He's like, yeah, just throw another $100 at it a day. So because he's making the returns, so he's able to test. But right at the beginning, you don't have that kind of money. You don't want to invest that kind of money into something you may not know that works. So what I'm going to show you now is how to build an ad that allows you to test these things out. So what I'm going to do first is show you the outline of an ad that would be having its own budget, and then you're starting to think, Christ, that's going to cost some money. So I'll sort of show you how you do it. So I'm not going to go into all the different aspects. So we're going to create a sales ad, right, or a lead ad. Let's do a lead ad, right? So I'm going to create a lead ad. Now in here, I'm not going to go into all the naming conventions and anything. I'll waste your time because I know you guys are on lunch and you just want to learn what you need to learn, right? So what you would do normally if you had more money, this is how I would set this up, is I would have my lead campaign here and I have my ad set. Now on each page of each ad set, which is where your audience is built, I would have my own amount of money here, okay? So let's say this is called ad 1. Okay, and then the creative, which is the next tab, this is where you build the ad. And this is going to be ad 1. Okay, so we know what it's called. Right, so ad 1 is going to, let's just go and grab some content, some creative, not what I need to do here. Right, sorry, I just need to do some stuff here so it knows what's going on. All right, so we choose page. Right, so we choose the ad clinic there, and that should allow this to pop up. There we go. Okay, I don't know why it's coming out. There we go. Right, fine. So now I can come down here. So ad 1, we're going to build some creative. Let's take a video. Go through to the media page. We don't need to put in text for this example. Right, so here's video 1. Right, let's do that one. Right, so there's one video. Now, I would then go, right, I want to test that video against the next one. So I would go quickly duplicate, and I've got add 2. So I'm going to change this one to say add 2. Everything's the same because we wouldn't change audiences at this stage. I'll do this one, add 2. Right, so and then in here, I would say, right, I'm going to get rid of that video. I'm going to do another video. Bring this in, and let's say we use that one. Okay, so I've got my ad 2. Right, so now I'm spending 20 quid a day because each ad has got its own budget. So now I want to go, right, I'm going to create another video. So they're all going to the same audience, but they've all got their own video. So now it's number 3 and number 3. Right, so you can see what I'm doing here. Right, I won't go as far as opening the next video. So we've now got 3, and then let's say we had one more, which was number 4, okay, because we were talking about having 4 bits of creative. So we've got 4 bits of creative, and that's all we're testing. Everything else is the same. The audience is the same. We've got one audience, okay? And then we've got add 1, add 2, add 3, and this one will be add 4, right? But now you can see we've got, if we're going to do it like this, that's £40 a day. And really, ideally, if you want to do a proper test, you're putting 20 quid on each ad. So that's £20 a day, 2, 4, 6, 8, 80 quid a day. And you're thinking, whoa, 80 quid a day, if this doesn't work. And then you're finding out that you need to run it for at least 3 or 4 days to really optimize. Well, that's 160 quid every 2 days. So starts flying out. And if it doesn't work, you're really starting to get annoyed because it's wasted money. Now, the one thing I do want to tell you about this is you have to be prepared to waste some money to get the results you want. Okay, and when you do start getting the results you want, that's when you recoup the investment. What most advertisers want to do is like, from day one, I can't lose 1 penny. You can't have that attitude. Just don't do any advertising. Get on the phone and call people, and then you're just wasting your time and your salespeople's time. But another story. So this is how you would create it. £80 a day is doing this test. So how do we do a test where we're not having to spend 80 quid, but I want to test these 4 ads out? Now there is another way. So if I was to go, let's go back out of here and let's just delete all these apart from number 1. So we're going back to where we were. Okay, one ad, campaign, and there's our ad. So what we're going to do now is we're going to call this a flexible. Now, the problem is with this is going to be starting to run an ad to actually start getting you some data and some intelligence. But the problem is, because Meta changed something recently, we have this called a dynamic creative. Now, 6 months ago, I would have called this dynamic creative because dynamic creative worked really, really well. They've moved this to being about flexible. The problem is it doesn't give us the findings we wanted to. So what we used to be able to do would be have a dynamic creative ad, come into breakdown, go to dynamic creative elements, and we could switch between, if we had 4 videos in there, we could click on this one here, and the flexible ad would open up with all 4 videos and tell us all the metrics for each video. But Meta has taken this away. You can see there was image, there was text, there was headline. So we don't get that intelligence. So the unfortunate thing of what I'm going to show you today is it's going to show you how to run an ad for a low budget. But unfortunately, the testing process, you can't properly go into to see which of those 4 ads worked until you're starting to make some money. So the process I would look on a new account would be, let's get this a flexible ad going with those 4 bits of creatives, which I'm going to show you how to now, with a $20 a day, £20 a day spend rather than 80. Start getting some intelligence in, start getting some data in, start making some money, and then recoup that money into the way that I've just shown you to build an ad, where you are spending $80 a day, but you want to know which ads are working. Does that make sense? So I keep saying I've got American clients and I'm always talking in dollars, and I've just started talking in dollars from now. Right, so we're going back into this flexible. So the difference is, before we didn't flick this on. That was turned off. We just built our ad 1, ad 2, ad 3, ad 4. Now we switch this on. So by switching that on, we come back into here, we can now, it looks slightly different. So what we can do is now we can go into select videos, and we can now choose those other videos like this. And you can see them here, selected 4 out of 10. Now, we're talking about a low budget here. So I would say that ideally we want to go 3 or 4 videos if we got them. Now, you could also do 2 images and 2 videos, which I would actually recommend, splitting it up a bit and having some different things on there. But at the end of the day, this is going to basically say to Meta, right, rather than me running an ad with 4 creatives with an ad set cost of $20 and £80 a day, I'm going to give you those same 4 videos, but I'm going to give you $20 a day, and I want you to spend that how you see fit by pointing people in the direction of these videos. So if it thinks that Joe Bloggs should see this video, he'll see this video. If it thinks that Jane should see that video, Jane will see that video, and so on and so forth. So it allows us to go, right, I'm not going to rely on one video and pray to God it works. I'm going to have 4 in there. So it really allows Meta to show a different video to a different person depending on what they're wanting. So if I click continue there, this all loads up. So now Meta is going to optimize the creative for each person that might want to see. So we can put our text in there, we can put our headline. So if I was to go and publish that now, so I'd call this flexible. Like that. And then when I go in here, we can see that we've just got our ad budget. We're going to make that $20 a day. So it's not, sorry, £20 a day. So it's now not 80. And we would now turn this ad on, which would run exactly the same, but we've got 4 bits of creative. Now, when we start seeing that work, we would come back in and we'd make it 25 day. Then we wait a couple of days and we're seeing leads and sales coming in. We can make it 35 day. And we slowly go up by increments of like 10% to increase this. Now, when you're spending 35, 50 and you're starting to get sales coming in, then I would go back and build another campaign, building it with ad 1, ad 1, ad 2, ad 2, ad 3, ad 3, so on and so forth. And then you can actually test those 4 bits out and see which ones are working better than the others. But it's this is a really safe way of building an ad without having to take the risk of spending like 80 quid a day. So there you go. Now, if you want help with your ads, obviously I've told you about school.com/the ads clinic, which is completely free. Go there to join. But if you do want help with your consultants and ads, and you want me to actually one-to-one train you or help you or done for you service, then all you need to go is go to theadsclinic.com, fill in the form and jump on a 30-minute call with me where we'll go through your ads. We'll share your screen like I'm doing right now, and we'll have a look to see what we can do to fix it. And if I think that you've got legs to actually start building some really good campaigns, start profiting from it, we will, you can sign up and we can continue with that. If I don't think you've got any legs, then I'm not going to sign you up to a consultancy client. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that helps. And I'll see you next